Hello, Soren. I'm going to give you some feedback on your task number 4 here. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the different phases of writing. There's a video that you can watch on this. There's a link for that video in the plan for English for this course. But in very brief, there are 3 phases in writing. There's your sort of planning phase where you conceptualize what you want to write, and then there's the editing phase after you've done your first draft, and then there's the proofreading phase where you go through the language at a very local level to find any errors, any typos, look for grammatical errors that you know that you tend to make. In terms of these phases, I want to focus on the editing phase most of all here. What I want you to consider for the future is, first of all, to always organize your text to guide the reader. This can be strengthened a little bit in this text. You do have an introduction, which is a huge improvement, because that means the reader knows what to expect and then what to pay attention to along the way. So that's a very good thing. However, strengthen the organization a little bit more so that there is a roadmap, as I referred to the last time, throughout the text. When you do your introduction, it makes sense to somehow define the comprehensive approach a little bit. Might just be to give it another adjective, like a more holistic, comprehensive approach. So that you use holistic as a synonym, and that is something that the reader will know what means. So that gives the reader an idea of what comprehensive might mean as you go into detail further along. Also, you mentioned Weidenbau in the beginning. I think just give him a title. Tell us who he is so that we know why you chose to focus on him. I know the reason for that, of course, is Sophie told you so, but he's also a voice of authority. So we need to know why that is. Why is his opinion important? Also in editing, I'd like you to focus a little bit more on creating variation in your sentence structure. You have a lot of what we call declarative sentences. They're sort of just, a very simple sentence structure where there's no subordinate clauses. So it's declarative sentences, full stop, declarative, full stop. That works very well if you want to be very sort of emphatic and want to really underline something. However, if you have too many of them, it becomes a little bit sort of same. So consider varying between shorter and longer sentences, full sentences, and then sentences that have subordinate clauses also, because that will give you give your text a bit more of a flow, because every time there's a full stop, the reader then has to consider, okay, then what's the next point? That sort of creates this kind of staccato way of reading. As I say, sometimes that's good. It's good for emphasis, but you're not going to emphasize every single point you're making. That would be insane. So use it more wisely, perhaps, and create some more variation. That can be done in the editing phase. You can read through it, and then you can say, okay, I can link these sentences, or I can create a little bit more cohesion or a little bit more flow in this paragraph. In terms of the organization of the paragraph, you need to consider the templates that I introduced to the class the very first time we met. It's still not there. So pay more attention to that. It's but in both of your sort of 2 parts that your text consists of, you have 2 long paragraphs. You need to divide those according to the templates that I presented you with. So keep that in mind, that you need to pay more attention to the editing phase. In terms of proofreading, I don't have a lot to say about proofreading. I think you write relatively well on a functional level. There aren't a lot of grammatical errors or typos, so that seems to be working. So focus on guiding the reader through, making sure that your sentence variation is good, and that there are no kind of no reasons for the reader to be confused, like a missing definition of a key term or some expert who isn't introduced. That will help your authority, because it makes you seem more in control. Anyway, I hope this is useful for you. If there are any questions, you can drop me an email, or I will see you on the very last day of the course on Friday. Until then, we'll see you. Bye.